Georgie stated that when he was at WAF World, he spoke to Asin Hajitarov, who told him that if he were to come to Knuckles Up, he and his club would be banned.
NANI? Did I just hear that correctly? So Georgi Svetkov was threatened with a ban and his entire club if he was to participate at the Knuckles Up. What the hell? Oh man, I have never seen this much drama after a supposed cancellation of a female arm wrestling super match. And the one in question is with Ayane Takanaka versus Ursula Aski. And as you can see, I can just scroll down here, and it is a lot of negativity that is heading towards the executive board of the WF. And if people are not pissed about the WF, they are definitely pissed right now. And a lot of influencers within the arm wrestling world was also really curious about what is happening at the current climax of the arm wrestling world. And a lot of influencers was also really furious when this announcement was made. And a noticeable one was Ryan Blue Bowen himself. And he basically saying the poison of politics is back. So devastated to hear that the politics has reared its ugly head again and cancelled an amazing women's arm wrestling match. So sorry Ayane that after so much dedication and preparation for your match that you have been pressured to not compete under threats of restricting future opportunities. Truly saddened for you. And another big arm wrestling name within the arm wrestling world is Sarah Backman herself. And I did share this on my community page because when I saw this I was just like, another one? Really? And she basically is saying that this is so effing sad and stupid. The girls want the match, huge opportunity and experience for the athletes, great push for arm wrestling and especially women's arm wrestling. People are paying to see it, but yeah, yes, let's cancel it 2 weeks prior while thousands of dollars has been invested, time and preparation from so many involved. Why does it always have to be like this? When the High Five Arm Wrestling crew was sharing it on their Facebook page, one of them was asking what was the reasoning behind this, and the Hi-Fi Arm Wrestling crew was saying one of the athletes was told by East vs West that if they competed with us they will be banned from East vs West and WF. When the athlete reached out to WF, they confirmed that if they competed on the same card with certain athletes they will be negatively impacted, and in this case it is Plam Dimitrov, Jordan Sonev and Svetan Gashevsky himself. That is basically one of the reasons why they were not allowed to go over to the Knuckles Up. Even though other athletes have been there as well, like Dave Chaffee, Shant Shah, Kamil Jablonski, and a lot more athletes have been a part of Knuckles Up as well, even though we are not affiliated or fall under any federation. And this was making the head of East vs West himself, Engin Terzi, forced to make a response of all of this. And as you can see, it is a really long post, so grab yourself a cup of tea, coffee, because this is gonna be a long one. East vs West don't and can't ban athletes. However, East vs West follows international decisions. WF has banned all IFA related things 5 years ago, so acting like one never heard about it and thinking that setting two WF athletes against each other with two IFA refs wouldn't be a problem for WAF is just plain silly. I was asked about this some time ago and I said I don't know as I am not the authority. So then I guess the authority was asked, and surprisingly, what has been happening in the last 5 years happened again. And people decided to play the same theater once again. Let me repeat, if I, as the organizer of the East vs West, invite two IFA refs to next event, then WAF will also not allow WAF athletes to participate in my event. Athletes don't know all the ban list of athletes or refs. Setting athletes such matches and putting them into risk of getting banned is not a responsible action. Athletes can choose their path, but they need to be informed about the details. You can call it as you like, but while you are complaining about WAF, how about you also talk about an IFA member, National Federation, informing their world champion level athletes to not use their country's name and flag while competing at the WAF and threatening them with disciplinary actions. If the IFA split was for more democratic cause, then probably Turkey will have joined as well. But we clearly told that to IFA founders when they visited us in 2019, that IFA president being the announcer of Slaughter, vice president being Slaughter's owner's wife, and the board members then Slaughter's worker. Also them to change weight categories to be identical to Slaughter's categories and organizing their worlds in same location and dates as 2019 Slaughter, so that IFA athletes can compete both events, just to show that IFA was created to serve a professional business. And this act also harmed the Olympic dreams of arm wrestling because it harmed unity. I have been part of this journey more than 30 years. I have countless disagreements with the WF administration up to this day. People who founded IFA, in fact, were the biggest supporters of today's administration. In fact, they even did business together for more than a decade. When I had disagreements with the administration, these people were against me. Later, they had their own disagreements and wanted us to join them. My disagreements were about arm wrestling, but their disagreements were about their own interest of the business, as I explained above. So basically, this harmed the future of the sport by this split. Does all this mean that I am in agreement in everything current administration is doing? No, but it's an easy choice for me to side with the WF, as I see the alternative position, and the WF being the root and future of our sport. When split happened, I tried at least 1 month to make peace, but it didn't work. Everyone went their own way with confidence, and now no need to act like something new is happening while trying same thing over and over, but hoping to get a different result. I have a lot of work to serve the mission, which is making arm wrestling a mainstream sport. Please get over these 5 years old desperate dramas. That poster was a lot to take in, but here is some interesting one. While I was preparing to make this video, the organizers of Knuckles Up was giving their side of this whole story, so we are going to be taking a listen to all of it.
Hey everybody, it's Will and Chris from The High Five and Knuckles Up, back with some very sad news. Events that have taken place over the past 24 hours have forced us to tell you our side of the story.
That being said, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our team, the promoters, the athletes, especially the community. We pride ourselves on being professional and transparent.
Now, everything we're going to say about these athletes moving forward does not reflect on them negatively whatsoever. They've all been professional and outstanding members of this community. On January 25th, for Knuckles Up 5, we secured a super match of the left hand between Cody Merritt and Georgie Spekov, way back on July 5th. Yesterday, we received a phone call from Cody stating that associates of East vs. West had let him know that Georgie was contracted. Now that was new news to us. So we said, you know what, Cody, let's reach out to Georgie and find out exactly what's going on before we make any rash decisions. We just got off the phone with Georgie. Georgie stated that when he was at WAF World, he spoke to Asin Haji Todorov, who told him that if he were to come to Knuckles Up, he and his club would be banned. So we said, hold on, wait a minute. If we have the correct refs, and if we don't have any banned athletes, can you still compete? The answer was no. If he were to come to a Knuckles Up event, he and his club would be banned. Now this is stuff we've dealt with before, and of course you've just seen that our match between Ursula and Ayane has been canceled, which is a huge blow to the female arm wrestling community. So this message moving forward is to the head of East vs. West, Engin Terzi, and to the head of WAF, Asin Haji Todorov.
Since Knuckles Up 1, we felt the repercussions of decisions both you and your organizations have made. Initially, we thought that we were aligned. We've all been that 5-year-old hoping that arm wrestling would be a mainstream sport. Unfortunately, recently we feel that we're not on the same page. We don't believe in segregation of the athletes as well as the community, whether it's through contracts or through the politics of the sport. We're a veteran-owned business that operates in a country that prides itself in freedom.
Thank you. Thank you to the community. Thank you all so much. We're going to keep fighting the good fight and putting on the biggest and best promotions that we possibly can. And always remember, we're arm wrestling for the people, by the people.
And please, continue to watch East vs. West. Continue to compete at WAF, because we'll never tell you not to.
Really professional answer by the High Five Arm Wrestling crew. And I was about to prepare for this video, but then I did see a response from the Vice President of WF, Simon Bereshoa. And he made a post explaining the current situation, what has happened with a decision that they were making within the executive board. RE the recently cancelled ladies match. Key points to understand first. The vast majority of WF athletes are nationally sponsored athletes like any other national sport. Track, boxing, wrestling, etc. The WF is a WADA signatory entity, which means if you as an athlete fail a drug screen, you are banned from all sports covered by WADA, as well as any sporting org within your same sport, all arm wrestling. In 2024, several promotions globally have had international events where they, either without knowing or intentionally invited or featured dope suspended athletes. WADA presented this as a significant issue to the WF, one that could threaten the WF's WADA status. WADA proposed as a remedy that the WF should follow the approach of all other national and international sporting orgs and require that the WF athletes must only compete in approved international events or promotions. This measure was passed by the WF Congress of the country heads during the 2024 meeting, so the WF adopted the same policy as other major national sports, whereby WF athletes can only attend approved international events. This cancellation came as the athlete from Japan inquired, and it was later determined that she was not able to compete at this particular event. This happened all the time to other national level athletes in other sports. It is unfortunate that this took place in such short order. Simply it is just the continued complexity of the advancement of the sport. From North America, it is the growing divide between the real national team level of the sport and all other promotions across the vast and rapidly growing interest in the sport. North America may not have the government's money sponsoring our athletes, but if we want to compete at the real world championships, we have to follow the same rules as other countries. For the record, Engin railed against this motion in Congress, as he understands the implications here in North America, as did the North America country heads. This is difficult to manage here in North America and more against the reality of the sport here. In most other countries, most arm wrestling runs through their national federation. In the end, the motion strengthens and simplifies the nationality-sponsored country's program and puts the WF in line with all other major national-level sports teams competing internationally. Subsequently, it was good for most countries and it was voted in by a wide majority vote in Congress. As well, it secures the issues with suspended athletes competing when they are not suspended, and to thus putting at risk the WF's WADA status. The suspended athlete can compete, no one can stop them. However, like any major international sport, those events that allow them to compete cannot become approved events. As such, WF athletes cannot both compete there and maintain their national athlete status. So you can take this information as you like. All of it that I presented have been happening in a chronological order. And you can use this information and form your own opinion. Are you for what Simon Bereshoa, the vice president of the WF, has explained to all of us? Or are you simply against it and it's gonna be killing the interest of arm wrestling as a whole. What do you even think about all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below, leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, share this video around because that really helps me a lot. Have a nice day, stay safe, don't be a surpuppa, and keep being awesome. Take care, and if you want to support my work even further, please consider becoming a member. Your support is always highly appreciated.